How's it going, everybody? Texas Man here. I hope you guys are all having a spectacular day. Please give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys have not already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all. Hit the bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos or streams here on the channel. If you guys would also please head over to Twitch. Follow me there at Douglas447. Streaming at least once a week, whether it's for Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo, or Destiny 2. And we're going to be talking through all three seasons of the Peter Capaldi era of Doctor Who, all three seasons, which is seasons 8, 9, and 10 of the show, respectively, for the updated version, for the modern day version, ever since 2005, started off with Christopher E. Doing his one season. And I've already talked about here on the channel David Tennant in a podcast. If you guys haven't checked that out, I do have an entire Doctor Who playlist video, so you guys will be able to watch all of my topics talking about when it comes to Doctor Who. I've covered Doctor 9, I've talked about Doctor 10, and of course Doctor 11, and then we're going to be talking about number 12, Peter Capaldi. And we're going to go through each season respectively, talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, and I'm going to give you guys my overall review score. For those of you who have been watching, I've already talked about David Tennant and Matt Smith, and then I'm doing Peter Capaldi, and then I will have a review talking about my likes and dislikes about the Christopher E. era / the Ninth Doctor era. So that will be coming out soon, so look forward to that. So starting off, we're going to jump right into the Peter Capaldi era. And the intro episode where the Doctor has no memories of his past and it requires Clara's help to remember was cool. I thought it was a really funny episode as well. I enjoyed the episode titled Listen, where it's dealing with the monster under your bed. I also thought Mr. Awesome Pink, his character of him falling in love with Clara, was cool. It was a really cool concept. I just feel like it took forever for them to get that character to a point of interest that I actually cared about if he lived or died, because I thought it was a cool concept as a character, but they really didn't do any development with him until the finale of the season, where unfortunately they kill him off. And that's about it. A lot of the first season, when it comes to the Peter Capaldi era, just had a lot of filler episodes. It really lacked a major villain for me to actually want to root against. There was just too many new plots and a lot of forgetting about what happened with Doctors 9, 10, and 11, and just forgetting characters, forgetting plots, and like, all right, Doctor 12, yeah, those things happened, but we're moving on with newer concepts and newer ideas, and they kind of just made it where, like, the things that happened with Doctor 9, 10, and 11 weren't all that important, weren't all that memorable, and they were. And unfortunately, for most of the Peter Capaldi era, they thought that they were going to make it some sort of grand, spectacular adventure and try to like go above and beyond what they were done for the past three Doctors. And unfortunately, they don't deliver. They do not deliver, not only in season 8, but also in 9 and 10. And obviously, going forward with the 13th Doctor, most people don't like the 13th Doctor. And unfortunately, the problems with the Doctor Who show kind of start creaking through the cracks when it comes to the Peter Capaldi era. 9 was good, 10 amazing, 11 was amazing. I don't know what happened, but either they ran out of ideas or they were just told that they had to make a 12th Doctor and then obviously a 13th, and now we're hopefully going to get 14th. Because at the time of recording this video, it's early 2022. I just feel like the show is running on steam. Like, there's only so much you can do with this type of show before it just gets repetitive and boring. And I was watching this with some of my family, and they're like, you know, they've watched 9, 10, and 11 with me, and 12, and they're like, when they were watching the 12th Doctor with the Peter Capaldi era, they just got bored, and I did too. The only reason I kept watching through all three seasons of the Peter Capaldi era is so I could do this review for you guys, and this is the first time ever watching it. I'm watching it for the first time and reviewing it for you guys also, and unfortunately I was bored, and the only reason I kept going is to review it. It just feels like this show is lacking in new interesting characters and plots. Getting back to the season 8, The season 8 finale I thought was really cool, dealing with the Master using the underworld to create this Cyberman force to kill off humanity, along with Mr. Pink dying and sacrificing himself. I thought was really fantastic storytelling. Like, when you get to the end of season 8, it's just like, okay, this is where the budget went, and this is where all the fantastic stuff's going to happen. I just wish they could have sprinkled some of that stuff throughout the whole season, so the whole season 8 was not a boring, just bland, I don't know why I'm watching this anymore fest. Also, I found the last Christmas special episode to be boring. It just really reused a lot of concepts from past films like Alien and Inception, and it was trying to craft some sort of Christmas horror story, which I can appreciate them trying to do something new, but it just really was tropey and just borrowed a lot too much from past stuff and really lacked originality. Then getting into season 9, I thought honestly season 9 was the best out of all 3 seasons when it comes to season 8, 9, and 10. It was a cool season, a lot more adventures, a lot more characters, and character development. Clara, Misty slash the Master 2.0 returns from the dead. The creator of the Daleks makes an appearance. We get to visit the home planet of the Daleks. There's just so much that happens. We get to battle against shape-shifting aliens. There's a lot more fleshed out backstory when it comes to the Doctor, and sadly, Clara does die. Clara's death, being locked in with this Death Raven curse, was very emotional. It made me sad to see her go. And when that did happen, I was like, okay, how are they going to top all these characters? We've had Rose, we had a couple other characters, we had Amy and Rory, we've had now Clara. I'm like, okay, who are they going to have in as the Doctor's +1? Well, they instead not just do a +1, but they do a +2. And I'll be honest with you guys, the characters, Billy and Nardole, they're okay, but I don't feel like they added much to the season. And going into season 10, they didn't add much to the show. Like, unfortunately, diving into season 10 now, the show kind of just died when Clara did too. Like, if you've ever watched the show from start to finish and you're binge watching it, like I've been doing, like I'll binge watch like 4 or 5 episodes one time at a time. The show just died. When Clara died, I'm just like, they really, I think, wanted her to stay around until season 10, and that would have made a lot more sense. Like, that's just the weird thing. It's like Amy and Rory died like towards the end of the Matt Smith era, and then they brought in Clara, and then she was around for like 2.5 seasons, and then they killed her off. It's weird. You would think they would keep the same companion with the same Doctor instead of doing all this really crazy shifting of characters around. But that's what this show does, and that's okay. But I'm just like, when Clara died at the end of season 9, I felt like the show died too. Season 10, dealing with the new characters, Billy and Nardole, I thought they were okay to start off, but the more they were in the show, they just got to being a point where they were either boring or they were very average characters based on the scenarios they were put in, based on the episodes that they were in. There were a couple cool episodes, like I thought the emoji robot episode was kind of cool, but other than that, it really was kind of boring. Like the season 10 dealt with a lot of politics, dealt with a lot of religious ideas, and it just became a point where it didn't tell a good sci-fi show, especially when it came to season 10. I thought there were a couple interesting episodes with the Doctor being blind and having to find a way to be able to protect this prison vault that contains the Master, and of course the Master ends up helping out. I thought the war against the zombie monks was cool. Bill ends up getting killed off, and it leads to her becoming a Cyberman, and the Doctor has to fight the Cybermen again towards the finale. The conclusion to Bill and Nardole's arcs were okay, but because, like I've already said numerous times, they weren't really memorable characters, so when they get killed off, I was like, yay, I guess. I'm like, them getting killed off didn't like have an emotional impact. When they killed off Amy and Rory, when Rose goes away into another dimension, when Clara gets killed because she sacrifices herself to save a friend, that has an emotional, memorable, gut-wrenching moment for me. But when these other characters, when Bailey and Arnold, they just get killed off, and Nardole gets killed off screen. You don't even see how he dies. He's just dead, and then he comes back from the grave somehow. I'm like, okay, I guess you're dead. It was just really weird. In the bonus movie special titled Twice Upon a Time, I thought it was really cool. It was a great conclusion to Peter Capaldi's era, especially when it comes to Peter Capaldi saying goodbye to the character of the Doctor. I thought that was really cool. And seeing the first Doctor and the 12th Doctor hanging out for a while, I thought that was really cool. Unfortunately, guys, I know I've said a lot of good and a lot of bad, and you're like, okay, I'm so confused. Did he like the Peter Capaldi era? It's an okay 3 seasons of Doctor Who. To be completely honest with you guys, if you weren't hooked with with Doctor 9, 10, 11, you probably have no interest to watch Doctor 12. Overall, I thought the Peter Capaldi era was like something where you watch it once, but because it's not memorable, it's not really rewatchable. And now that I've seen it, I really have no interest to ever want to rewatch it again. Like, yeah, there are a couple cool moments. Yeah, I really enjoyed Peter Capaldi and Clara together. So, like, if I really wanted to watch it, I would watch season 8, get through that slugfest, watch season 9, and then when Clara dies, the show has ended for me. I have no interest nor any desire to watch Doctor 13. I really have no interest to watch it. I'm burnt out on Doctor Who now. Like, if Doctor 14 somehow seems to be really good and a lot of other people enjoy it, I will watch Doctor 14. But I enjoy Doctor 9, Doctor 10, and Doctor 11. And I've given those really strong reviews. I think I gave David Tennant and Matt Smith like a 9.5, I remember. But the Peter Capaldi era is a gigantic disappointment. I was expecting so much more. I was expecting them, especially with the increased budget that they were given for these seasons, to be able to come up with some really unique and interesting stories. And it was a really big disappointment for me, guys. Doctor Who, the complete Peter Capaldi era, is getting a 7 out of 10. And that includes seasons 8, 9, and 10, all 3 seasons. The entire Peter Capaldi era is getting a 7 out of 10. I really was disappointed. Yes, there was a couple cool moments in it. Yes, there were some great characters, but there was a lot of unnecessary stuff that really just dragged this sci-fi show down for me. And yeah, if you want to watch Doctor Who, don't start with this. Watch 9, 10, and 11, and then maybe give this era a shot. But unfortunately, a lot of the problems that I think are occurring in Doctor 13's era, I don't even know her name, so I'm sorry. But whatever is going on in that era of Doctor Who, that is such a big turnoff for a lot of people. The gigantic roots, I think, were seeded in the Peter Capaldi era, especially in season 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day. Look forward to more videos talking about movies, music, video games, or TV shows here on the channel. You guys have a great day. Bye, guys.